We have got 11 and a half weeks left of this year, and I'm going to make sure that you end it feeling your absolute best. In this video, we are going to run through every single thing that you need to make sure that you end this year feeling the best you've ever felt and you start 2026 feeling on top of the world. Not needing to start again, not needing a reset, but actually simply carrying on because you are already who you want to be and you are already on track to be where you want to be. So the first thing that we're going to do is split, I'll pop it on screen, but the first thing that I want you to do is split your kind of like the next quarter into different sections. Now, these sections are going to be like entirely personal to you. I sometimes find that, you know, when you like look at kind of like planners and things like that, they can go into like a lot of different areas, and sometimes I think it just overcomplicates it. You could literally just split it into like health and fitness, career, or you could split it into like relationships, lifestyle, things like that as well. So I personally split it into health and fitness, lifestyle, relationships, and then work/career as well, because for me those are the four main areas where I have kind of like goals. For me, those are the areas that I've picked. For you, pick whatever area you want. Now, the first thing that of course we want to do is identify goals. You wouldn't be watching this if you didn't have goals that you wanted to hit. And this is just your sign, by the way, that you absolutely can hit your goals by the end of this year. Now, if you have huge goals, of course, maybe you're not going to hit them all. But what we're going to do is break them down into smaller goals that you can achieve. So you know that by hitting those smaller goals, you are on track to those bigger goals. And whilst you're going through this, whilst you're thinking about your goals, whilst you're thinking about what you want to achieve, I want you to dream big. I don't want you to be, you know, unrealistic and I'm going to become a millionaire, but I want you to dream big. I want you to stretch yourself. I want you to think of the version of you who's achieved all of her goals, the version of you who you're aspiring to be. How would she show up? How would she set her goals right now? How would she stretch herself? So those are all the things that I want you to think of, because we have 11 and a half weeks left of this year. If you started right now, you could take a brand new habit and you could have it become natural and automatic come December. 11 and a half weeks is so many opportunities for you to build new habits, build on the habits you already have, and build new routines. It is so many opportunities for you to prove to yourself what you're capable of. Push through mindset barriers, push through fears to prove what you're capable of. It is so many opportunities for you to push that 1% more each day and get that 1% closer each day to that dream version of you. Do not underestimate what you can achieve between now and the end of the year. This is not the time to slow down. In fact, this is the time to push harder than ever. And by harder than ever, I don't mean doing more. I don't mean trying to do the most and trying to, you know, do it all and go all in. That's not what I mean. But when I say push harder, I mean go all in on your goals. Go all in on pushing through those mindset barriers. Go all in on setting big goals. Go all in on saying no to things that haven't worked and saying yes to things that align with your goals. Go all in on focusing on what you can do even when there's things you can't. Go all in on showing up for yourself even when you don't want to, because you're proving to yourself what you're capable of. So first things first, goals. Now, of course, this is all going to be about goals, but what I want you to think of is within each of these areas, and right now you can just jot down any rough goals. Within each of these areas, what are the goals that you want to achieve? Okay, so we're going to really dig deep into these in a second. What are the goals that you want to achieve? So for example, for me, lifestyle is to really have a good work-life balance. It's definitely something I've started building, but it's definitely something I can do more of and kind of get better at. In terms of relationships, for me, a big goal has been to really grow relationships. So to not have my work and relationships kind of clashing with each other, to not be constantly on my phone whilst I'm with my friends, whilst I'm with my family, so I can really kind of, you know, nourish those relationships. Again, that has been something I've been working on, and it's something I'm going to keep working on. Within health and fitness, a goal of mine is to get back into routine with training, is to really kind of almost embrace the injury that I've got and actually work around it, but in a more strategic way. So I am actually turning 30 next year. I don't want to talk about it. So I'm going to be starting a 12 weeks to 30 series on Instagram and on TikTok, where I'm going to be literally doing a full reset, where I'm going to be locking in to make sure that I start my 30s in the middle of January feeling the best I've ever felt. So yeah, all of those goals are kind of relevant to that. And I will be talking about that more in that, which will be on my YouTube shorts as well. So what do you want? What do you want? Within those areas, what do you want? And then I want you to think of why. Okay, now what I want you to make sure that you're not doing here is you're not going, I want to lose weight. I want to lose 3 kg. I want to be a size 10. I don't want you to write those goals, because those goals are not what you actually want. Being a size 10, it doesn't change anything. What you want is what you think that size 10 is going to bring you. Whether that be more confidence in your clothes, whether it be more confidence to wear the outfits that you want to wear, whether it be more confidence to go out on a social occasion and not kind of look down and like question how you're feeling, or, you know, where it hugs you the tightest, which by the way you will still have at all sizes. Like a number is not going to change that. So again, then you have to really focus on, okay, what do I actually want? If I want more confidence, okay, where's that going to come from? Because it's not going to come from a number on the scales. It's not going to come from a size on the tag on your clothes. So why do you want these things? And really dig into like why, because also that is going to be your what. Like that is going to be the goal. So for example, if you want to get to a size 10 because you want to feel confident and you want to, you know, be able to wear the clothes that you love, and you want to be able to just go shopping and, or, you know, not even give a shit about the number on the tag, just get whatever works best for you and whatever fits you best, that is also a goal. That is not going to be your why, that is the goal. So like I said, get really specific with these. So for example, if a goal of yours is to, let's just say your broader goal is to just feel really good in yourself, to feel more confident, how are we going to do that? Okay, well, let's look at kind of confidence. Confidence comes from doing what you say you're going to do. It comes from pushing out of your comfort zone and proving what you're capable of. And it comes from those things, because those things mean that you are pushing hard, you're proving what you're capable of, you've pushed outside your comfort zone, you've pushed through those mindset barriers, you've showed up for yourself even when you don't feel like it. So you're building discipline, you're building consistency, and of course you're building self-confidence every single step of the way. So again, really think about, okay, what do I actually want? So like I said, specific goals. Think really specific. What do you want? So now I want you to go back through those goals, and I want you to think, is that the end goal? Is that the end goal? What is that going to bring me? Is that the actual goal? So for example, when I use my example of like relationships and kind of like nourishing the relationships that I have with my friends, with my family, that is, yes, okay, that's a goal, but what is that going to bring me? Well, that's going to bring me real life. It's going to actually make sure that I can build memories and not just kind of look back and be like, oh, I was just on my phone. It's going to make sure that I'm actually present, so I can actually make memories. I can actually be present. And all of those things, of course, are going to bring me more happiness every single day. They're going to help me build better memories, and it's just going to make me happier as a person. It's going to give me less time online, and it's going to give me more time in the present moment in my life, because there's definitely times where I look back and I think like, I am not living my actual life because I'm too busy online, and online isn't real life. So for me, that's why those kind of goals are so relevant. That's why I want to achieve those goals. And again, like to break that down even further, I am also implementing kind of like, you know, no phone between X time and X time, or, you know, no scrolling in the morning, no scrolling in the evening, like really kind of solidifying my morning and evening routines to bring that back in as well. So again, it's not just about kind of like, okay, I'm not going to be on my phone around other people. It's going to be like, okay, how do I actually enforce that? And I'm also going to be giving myself one day off my phone a week to make sure that I really do enforce that. So again, really think about what you want. What do you want within all of these areas, and why do you want them? And really go deep on these. And then we're going to look at your current barriers. What are your current barriers? So now you've got your goals, you've got your why. So you've got your goals, you've got your specific goals, and you've got your why. What is it that is stopping you? Okay, what is it that is stopping you? So we're going to come back to goals in a second, but what is it that is stopping you from achieving those goals? Why have you not achieved them already? And it probably is due to, maybe you're stuck in the all or nothing mindset. Maybe you don't believe in yourself. Maybe there's a fear of failure. Maybe there's a fear of being seen. Maybe there's all of these things. If you're not where you want to be, it's because maybe you haven't taken action. Maybe you haven't given yourself long enough, but maybe there is certain action that you haven't taken. Maybe you kind of give up quicker than you should. Maybe you kind of focus on what you can't do rather than what you can do. So then your mindset is your barrier. Your mindset of, okay, what is my subconscious brain trying to protect me from? What story am I telling myself? Because if you're telling yourself that you're not going to do something, you're going to show up as that person who doesn't do it. So of course you're not going to get there. If you're going into something thinking, I'm not going to be able to do this because I failed before, then you're going to go into it and you're going to go in with that mindset, and that's going to be the reality, because that's going to dictate the action that you take. So what are your current barriers? Okay, and then now I want you to think about, what is your identity? Right now, write down the way that you see yourself. When you think of yourself, what do you think of? What are like the key words that you think of? And then when you think of that best version of you, that future self, that version of you who has achieved all of her goals, she smashes her goals, she has confidence, she knows what she's capable of, she trusts herself, she shows up for herself every day, she's consistent, she's disciplined. What comes to mind when you think of her? Because what you've got to think of is this track that you're on right now. This is not the track that she's on, okay? This is the track that she's on. So how do we get from this track to this track? What we have to do is go, right, how can I show up as her? How can I think like her? How can I therefore act like her? How can I set goals like her? How can I set intentions like her? And slowly but surely, you are then going off this track and you're getting onto her track. Yeah, and I don't want you to think of it as like, I'm becoming a brand new person, but I want you to think in every single thing that you do, how would this best version of me show up? What would she do? What would she say? How would she act? How would she feel? How would she respond? Because ultimately, to create this version of you, you have to start showing up as her. You have to start telling yourself the story that she does. You have to start stepping into the identity of her with her confidence, with this I know I can do anything attitude, with the self-trust, with the self-belief, with the routines, with the habits. You have to start showing up as her to create her, as if you already have it. Show up as if you already have that life, as if you already do the things that she wants to do, as if you already have achieved the goals that she does. You have to show up with that insane confidence, with that positivity, with her discipline, with every single thing to become her. You're not just going to wake up one day and become her. When you're faced with a challenge, you have to think, how would she respond? When you're faced with, okay, I can't do this today, how would she respond? Would she focus on that, or would she focus on what she could do? With the confidence thing, you're not just going to get to a certain size and then feel confident. You're not just going to get to a certain weight and feel confident. You're not just going to tick off a goal and feel confident. It's built over time by, again, pushing out of your comfort zone. Your habits and routines are daily opportunities for you to build that confidence, for you to build that trust, because you're doing what you say you're going to do. So again, that's why I always say focus on what you can do, because even if there are 10 things that you can't, if you focus on that one thing you can, your brain is going to look for evidence of all the things that you can do. And of course, that's going to build your confidence. So your identity, her identity, what are the differences? Write them down. Right then, now we've got your goals. So we've got your goals, you've written the identity changes, so you've written your identity, her identity, what the differences are. Now we're going to link that with your goals. So we're going to have a look at, okay, what are the goals that you want to achieve? Again, being really, really specific. And what are the identity changes that we need to make? Okay, so how can we do this? Right, goals. What are we going to do to get to your goals? How are we going to break them down? So you've got, let's say, end of year, that's pretty much 3 months. Okay, what do we need to do? How can we break that down? How can we break that down into, okay, if I achieve this month, achieve that by the second month, I'll achieve that by the third month. So for example, if that is, you want to be, for argument's sake, let's say you want to be consistently in the gym 3 times a week by the end of the year. Okay, well, if you're doing nothing, that's going to be quite a big jump. So let's start off with, for the first month, you were going to go once a week. For the second month, you're going to add another session. For the third month, you're going to add that third session. So what's happening is you're not going, right, I'm going to start with three sessions a week, and I'm just going to suddenly jump, and then it's going to feel overwhelming and it's going to feel like a lot. You're going, right, I just need to do 1 session a week. And you do that 4 times, that is going to feel more natural. And then you don't have to go, oh my God, now I need to do 2 sessions. But now you go, okay, now I just need to add an extra 1. And again, you do that and that feels more natural. And then you add a third. And of course, there's going to be times where you don't want to do it. But let's be honest, it's going to be easier to do 1 session you don't want to do than do 3 sessions you don't want to do. And so by the time you get to add in that 3rd session in, you've got that consistency. You've built that discipline. You've built that confidence and trust because you're doing what you say you're going to do. Yeah, so really break it down. Each goal, I want you to break it down into monthly, weekly, and then daily. Don't just think of your goal either. Think of super duper specific. Think of, okay, the goal, how are we going to make that happen? So let's just say, like I just said, your goal is, okay, you want to do 3 sessions a week by the end of the year in the gym. Okay, so month 1, we're going to do 1 session a week. Month 2, we're going to do 2 sessions a week. Month 3, we're going to do 3 sessions a week. All of these times, by the way, are also helping you step into that identity because you're building it up. So you're building that self-trust because every time you show up to the gym, you're going to be doing what you say you're going to do. You're going to be building that confidence. You're going to be building that self-trust. You're also going to be doing what you say you're going to do. Again, that is also going to be out of your comfort zone, especially when you start to add those other sessions in. So again, that's going to be building your confidence. Saying, okay, I'm going to go to the gym once, twice, 3 times, for example, is all well and good. How do we actually make sure that happens? Well, we have to put things physically into practice. Okay, so those are our monthly goals, right? Okay, let's break that down into weekly. What are we going to do every single week? Okay, well, for month 1, like we just said, we need to find 1 session a week. So what can we do to make sure that happens? Weekly, for example, you are going to time block your days. You are going to schedule that session in as if it was a meeting. You're going to put it into your calendar. You're going to block that time out. Okay, so that's number 1. Number 2, okay, what can you do? What else can you do? Okay, you can get your gym clothes ready the night before. You can tell someone that you're going so that they can hold you accountable. You can set yourself a reminder on your phone. If you want to take it one step further, maybe you can join that gym that you've been really, really wanting to go to. So you've got that extra incentive to go. So it's like a reward. It's like a reward. Do you know what I mean? So really, really think about, okay, what can I do to make sure this happens? Because let's be honest, just saying I'm going to go to the gym once a week, it's not going to happen. Because if it was going to, you would have already done it by now. And this is about looking at things differently. This is about making a change. So instead of going, right, I'm just going to go to the gym once a week, you're going to go, right, on a Sunday, I'm going to set myself a reminder. It's going to pop up on my phone that I need to plan my week. I'm then going to go through and plan my week. I'm going to write down everything I need to do on each day, and then I'm going to go into my calendar and I'm going to time block it. I've done different videos on this as well. If you want me to send you the link to any of them, just let me know in the comments. So again, then you can literally time block it all. So that day comes and you have it in your calendar. You have no reason not to go because it's in your calendar like a meeting. Again, to make it even easier to make sure that you stick to it, you're going to get your gym clothes ready the night before, so you haven't got to think about it. Maybe you're going to get dressed at the beginning of the day, even if you're going at the end of the day. Maybe you're going to get dressed at the beginning of the day, so you're already in the outfit. Again, we just want to reduce the tension, okay? We want to reduce the, the chances of you going, oh, I can't go. Maybe book a class. If that's what it takes to kind of get you into that routine, maybe book a class so that you're more likely to go because you've booked in. So go through and do this for every single goal. So again, you can do it as like a brainstorm. You can do whatever you want to do, but go through and go, right, this is my goal. Let's write it down. Okay, so what we're going to do, goal, make that specific. Yeah, don't just focus on a physical goal, focus on feelings, identity, why. Then we're going to look at barriers. Again, be specific. What? Why? How to overcome. So for example, like I said, if your mindset is a barrier, we have to look at, okay, how can I overcome this? So that is going to be, okay, by pushing out of my comfort zone, by proving that I do what I say I'm going to do, by building confidence and building self-trust. Okay, how do we do that? Right, well, we look at your daily opportunities. We look at the things that you do day in, day out. We look at, okay, how can I build confidence every single day? How can I do what I say I'm going to do? And then we break it down, like we just said, into those manageable action steps. So then we look at identity, you versus her. And then again, what's your current identity? What's her identity? And I mean the way you act, the way you talk, the way you speak to yourself, the way you show up, the way that you are disciplined, the way that you have consistency, like all of these things, okay? What is you, what is her? And then we want action. Okay, so action, we want your goals broken down into monthly, broken down into weekly, broken down into daily. So, like I said, work from the top down. What are the goals? What are the specific goals? What are the identities? What are the feelings? What is your why? What are the barriers? Okay? Why are they barriers? What are they? How can we overcome these? What's your identity? What's her identity? So your goals then, the action that you're going to take is, okay, well, these are my goals and this is the identity that I want to get to, right? How can we break that down into monthly? Like I just said, how can we then break that down into weekly and think specific action? And then how can we bring that into daily? So for example, let's just for argument's sake, obviously with the workout one, that is going to be more of a weekly goal rather than like a daily. But then obviously your daily goal with that could be, okay, for one day a week, the day before, I need to plan my gym session. I need to get my outfit ready. I need to get my, supplements ready, whatever it may be. And then obviously that is kind of like, that's a one day thing. Let's just say for argument's sake, it is your goal to get outside and get out in the fresh air for half an hour every single day. Okay, well, let's not start by trying to go, right, every single day I'm going to get out for half an hour, but could your goal for month one be, okay, I'm going to do it 3 times a week? How can I make that happen? Okay, well, weekly, I'm going to literally schedule it into my day. Like I just said, time block it, make it happen. Okay, well, daily, what can I do? Right, well, on those days, I can make sure that I'm setting myself a reminder. I can make sure that I've got that thing literally saying, go for a walk. Yeah, and again, every single time you do those things, you're able to then go, I am doing what I say I'm going to do, which is going to build your confidence. It's going to build your trust. You're then going to be able to go, okay, this is stretching me. Because some days you're not going to want to do it. You're not going to want to do it. Just because you've got it all planned, it doesn't mean you're going to want to do it, but you're then able to go, right, I'm going to go and do it anyway, because nothing is stopping you. The only thing then stopping you is yourself. So then it's about going, right, but I'm going to prove to myself that I do what I say I'm going to do. So you go out and you get it done. And then you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. You're stretching yourself and you're becoming that best version of you. Always think best self. How would she show up? What would she do? How would she respond? And think building foundations. Yeah, this is the key of every single thing that we do. Every single thing. Build foundations. Like I just said, this is the whole point of breaking down those goals so that you're not going to be put in a position where you're caught up in the all or nothing mindset. Yeah, so you break down those goals. So like I just said, if you're going, right, I'm going to do half an hour of exercise every single day, that's going to be a lot. And what's then going to happen is, as soon as you don't do one day, you're going to be like, oh, I can't do this. Whereas when you go, right, I'm going to build it up. I know exactly what I'm doing. I've got those things ready to implement. I know what I'm doing monthly. I know what I'm doing weekly. I know what I'm doing daily. Every single day, you then have an opportunity to build that trust, build that confidence, do what you say you're going to do, and recognize that and celebrate that. Always focus on what you are doing rather than what you're not, because your brain is always looking for evidence that something is true. So if you're going, yes, but I am doing this and I am doing this and I am doing this, even if there's 5 things you haven't done, your brain's going to look for evidence that's true. And of course, that's going to build your confidence. You're going to feel so much better. And also think as well about, okay, how can I put these things into routines? So again, like I just said, when it comes to those, you know, kind of like weekly, daily things, the more that you do it, the more natural it's going to feel. And when you build it up slowly, like a habit, it is obviously not going to take as much mental energy, because it's going to become more natural, and then you can build on it. So like I said, always build foundations, because I always explain to people, think of your journey like building a wall. You wouldn't just try and or building a house. You wouldn't just try and throw up the whole house in one day. You would build it brick by brick, layer by layer. And that is exactly what we are doing. We are going to go, right, first things first, I'm going to pick 1 to 3 areas. I'm going to make tiny little changes, and I'm going to be really consistent with them. Then I'm going to build on them a little bit further. Then maybe I'm going to pick another 1 to 3 areas, and I'm going to make another little tweak to those areas, all while still doing these things, because you're building on them. And before you know it, not only have you got your results, but you've also built a lifestyle, a mindset and confidence where you can maintain them effortlessly. So for routines, think morning, evening, daily, weekly. Again, you know, for example, if it is something like going to the gym, could you make that a routine? Could you go on the same day every single week to, again, just make it easier to build as a habit? Again, things like, okay, if it is a goal of yours to improve your nutrition, and you know kind of how you want to do that, or you know what you need to do, maybe you just want to feel generally a little bit better. Could part of that be meal prep? Could you start off by meal prepping your lunches for 3 days a week? Could you then build that up to 5 days a week? Could you then build that up to prepping your lunches and your breakfasts? Or if that feels like too much and you don't even want to start with meal prep, but you know that is a goal of yours, could you just start by planning your meals? So not prepping them, just planning them. Now I could literally go on all day, literally all day and all night about this, but I just want to remind you, you have 11 and a half weeks left of this year. There is so much you can do in that time. You can completely change your life. You can transform your habits. You can transform your routines, your confidence, your trust, your self-belief, everything. You can get to Christmas feeling absolutely fucking incredible. You can get to the end of the year feeling absolutely unstoppable. You can start 2026 feeling the best that you've ever felt, knowing that you're not resetting for the new year. You're not going into a new year, new me, but you have actually made that change that you've been promising yourself you're going to make for years. And the way that you're going to do it is by making it work for you. You don't need to copy someone else. You don't need to have a look at what other people are doing. It doesn't matter what other people are doing. You need to make it work for you by following this framework. Now, the reason that this framework may look a little bit kind of, you know, not specific, maybe you was expecting me to sit here and be like, right, these are the steps, this is this, but no, because you need to make it work for you and your lifestyle. What you do and what someone else does are going to be 2 very different things. Even if you have similar goals, how that looks in your life is going to be so different. So please just bear that in mind. Work your way through these frameworks. If you have any questions at all, please just let me know in the comments, drop me a message on Instagram, and I'll get back to you. But take this as your sign to dream big, step into that best version of you in every single thing that you do, every decision you make, every action you take, every thought you have. Always think the best version of you. And if you're kind of going into this and you're a little bit like, I'm not too sure, literally write down the best version of you. The best version of you. How does she show up? What does she do? How does she talk? How does she walk? How does she act? How do her days look? How do her mornings look? How do her evenings look? How does she spend her lunch breaks? Like all of these things. Because again, if you can literally write down, right, this is her, this is me, you then know how to bridge that gap. And that gap is then bridged by building those foundations and building on them. I hope that you found this helpful. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. And other than that, go smash it. Let's make the end of 2025 the best yet. And I shall see you very soon.